Hello everyone and welcome back, and in this video we're going to discuss FRYETTE'S laws of spinal mechanics. So with FRYETTE'S laws we have two main principles. We have what's called a type 1 lesion and a type 2 lesion. Now lesion is just a fancy word for problem. So what we mean by that are two separate sets of mechanical issues. So FRYETTE'S laws are labelled after the ease of movement, which is somatic dysfunction. We treat the restriction, which is the opposite, but when we're labelling FRYETTE'S laws, it's named after the ease of movement, which can be quite confusing to people starting out. Now, law 1 means that we have one of each. So it's usually better in neutral. It's also better side bending to one side, and is better contralaterally rotating to the opposite side. So we'll say that again. Our type 1 lesion is better in neutral, or more symmetrical neutral. It moves better to one side in side bend and rotates better to the opposite. Now this is usually found in 3 or more segments. So in contrast to that, we have a type 2 lesion, and they're in pairs, so 1 or 2, locking in 1 or 2, so up to 2. So with that, we have ease of movement. It's worse in neutral in opposition to our type 1 lesion. So it's worse in neutral, it's better in flexion or extension, and it moves better to one side, and then ipsilaterally, or to the same side, rotates to the same side. So again, our type 2 lesion can lock in pairs, but usually no more than 2, and its ease of movement would be either flexion or extension, and it side bends and rotates somatically to the same side, or ipsilateral side. Now, what that means in treatment we'll discuss in a different video, because the treatment protocol for this can be different, and the presentation and the usual type of injuries that would cause these are generally a little bit different. So classically it can be expressed that type 1 lesions are generally involving more of the long muscles of the back and can be attributed to more postural issues, not always, and generally speaking a type 2 lesion can be expressed as a more of an acute injury involving the smaller intrinsic musculature of the back. And that can be the difference between a successful and an unsuccessful treatment when treating the soft tissues surrounding a FRYETTE'S lesion. Now, the other interesting part of this equation is that you can also have a type 2 inside a type 1. Now, the difference being, if we are to assess the body, we generally assess it in group first and then intersegmentally assessing each segment as we go through. So for example, if we find a problem between T2 and T7, we might find the middle of that section, or as we assess down, generally your type 2 lesion inside your type 1 would be at the top, the bottom, or the middle. And we intersegmentally assess that group lesion, and you may find the mechanics are altered or different at the midpoint or the keystone, and that is most likely to be, it could be top, bottom, or middle, a type 2 lesion inside a type 1. Now when it comes to treating, that would be the key area to address in relation to that particular dysfunction. So I hope that eases some of the information in relation to type 1 and type 2 lesions. If you like what you see, guys, just follow us, a like and a share, just click on the link below, and thanks for watching.